This video is published by MBKP International and mbkpinternational.com. On this video, we're going to talk about our Guillotine EC19 Pro paper cutter. This would also be for the EC19M, and certain things can work for the EC17, like the cut buttons here and the emergency stop that we're going to be messing with. Basically, it's for buttons that get loose. As you can see, like this is just kind of loose. It wants to spin around and not turn on like it's supposed to, instead of turn on tight. And then like I got a cut button here that's loose. Whenever these things start getting loose, you want to tighten them up, because over time it's just a maintenance thing, you know, just like anything else. You got to tighten things up if they get loose. And I also got this loose here. These are the three things that can get loose: cut buttons, on-off switches, emergency stops. We'll start with this emergency stop button first. If it gets loose on you, you can first you want to do is unplug your machine, make sure there's no power to it, and then take this cover off. If you don't know how to take this cover off, we do have a video online on taking this cover off. Once you got that off, I'm going to show you this thing in here, the emergency stop. You can see it in here, and you can see it's loose in here. So with power off, what you can do is you can reach here and you can hold it in here. But you can see the arrows on this outer piece, just this red piece. Just turn it in the opposite direction of the arrows, and this part will come off. And then you got this silver piece here. While you're holding this part of it in here so it doesn't turn, you can just tighten this up here and basically tighten it about pretty snug. You don't have to go too overly tight with it, because it's easy to tighten up. And then just snug that back on until it goes all the way, until it wants to spin itself and bounce back. You can even do it by reaching in there and not even taking that off, and even not even taking this cover off on this particular one, on this emergency stop. You can just reach here and just tighten up here every once in a while when it needs to. You don't need to go overly tight, just pretty snug. Next we want to do is this on-off switch. You can look in here and you can see it moving while I'm turning it. It shouldn't be doing that. When it starts getting loose, you want to tighten them up. Okay, the first thing you want to do on this is, if you notice on these buttons, they got like a white bar that goes across here on them. Most of them are on the top. You can see them on the top, but for whatever reason on this on-off switch, it's usually underneath. And you're just going to push. You're going to push down. You're going to grab it on both sides and just kind of squeeze it together in order to push down on this tab. Okay. Now this one you can't see it. It's underneath. I'm going to squeeze it and take it off. It just slips right off, and you can see that right there. I just grabbed it like this and I squeezed it. You can see it moving in like that. Once you push it in, you can pull it off. Okay. Okay, and then just let it lay in there. Again, power must be off here. Now here, I don't know if you can see it. See this thing here? It's just a plastic nut. All you got to do is just get it in position you need it. Usually it's these two channels you see here. They'll usually be in the upper position, typically. Not always. It could be anywhere, but you want to just tighten this down here about as tight as you can get it, hand tight. This plastic nut here. Once you get it about as tight as you can get it, this one again is usually upside down in the compartment. So you're going to be looking at this orange thing as the center, and then you see these two channels here, and you just line it up with this orange thing with those two channels, and it should just slip right on. And once you get it far enough, and you'll hear it click, and you can pull out, see if it comes out, make sure it's on good. Okay, now let's take a look at it now. You can see it's nice and tight now. You can see in here, it's not moving anymore. So every once in a while they start to get loose. Don't keep using it. Open up your machine and tighten that nut down if it needs to. Here's the last one. It's the cut button one, and you can see it loose. Same thing. You're going to just push down on that. Squeeze this thing like pushing down on this and holding underneath, and it just slips right off. You got that nut right there, and you can just tighten it down as hard as you can, hand tight. Sometimes you got to push it on this one here. Sometimes you got to push here while you're tightening it to keep from spinning on you. Okay, let me move over this way so I can do a little more force on here. Okay, again, tighten it as hard as you can. On this one, you're going to see a channel on the top part up here. Looks like it may have spun around on me. I'm going to loosen this up. Hold on. Loosen back up. You want to keep, there's a single groove channel on these things. Find that it's going to be at the top, as long as this is at the top, because that lines up with this. The single groove channel lines up with that. So push in here to hold it once you get that single groove channel on the top, and then tighten it down nice and snug, as tight as you can get it, finger tight. And that way you can line that single groove channel up with the center of this white thing, and it will slide right in. Because if it's not lined up, it won't go in. So you got to line it up. Sometimes you got to fish for it a little bit, and I got it there, and you'll hear it click once it goes all the way in. And you can pull back on it, make sure it stays in. It's pretty simple. Just make sure you keep all those nuts on those buttons tight. This video is published by mbkpinternational.com.